Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. I want to welcome you to today's Shortcuts for Your Soul. And today we're going into a concept called totally restoring yourself. And Archangel Raphael is with me today, so we're going to have a really incredibly beautiful time. This started about 2 days ago during one of our meetings, one of our course events in the class happened, and one of the students there, my guide said you had to speak to her the next day. So I did. I reached out to her and said, we got to connect the next day. And what ended up happening, I go to sleep. That she says, no problem, I can meet with you tomorrow. And I'm wondering, like, why do you want me to meet with her? And they said, you'll see. So I go to sleep that night, and then yesterday morning I wake up at 6:30, and all of a sudden I've got Archangel Raphael with me, and he says, how do you feel about your body right now? I said, what do you mean? He says, how do you make the cells of your body feel right now? Now I just opened my eyes, right? And he was very insistent. He said, how do I, me, William, how do I make the cells of my body feel when I wake up in the morning? What's the first thing I make my body feel? And so I looked around and I went, well, I'm just aware of it. I'm not really making them feel anything. He says, give them love. Give your whole body, all the cells in your body, a feeling of love right now. So I did. I actually went through the whole body, giving it love. And then he said, now go through each part of your body, each vital part of your body. Go to your eyes and feel your eyes and give your eyes love. Give all the cells in your eyes love. And so for the next half hour, from 6:30 to 7 a.m., I went through this process with Archangel Raphael, giving each organ, ears, fingers, toes, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys. I got my awareness so in touch with them that I was able to feel how the cells of those parts of the body were receiving and responding to the vibration of love that I was communicating to them. And there were a few times where he said, you got to stay present with it. You got to stay present with it. I said, what do you mean? He said, you got to stay there present love until you feel a response from that part of the body. And so we went through this process for a half hour of just making certain every single cell was responding to the vibration of love that I was communicating to them. And then I spent, so that went on for half an hour. I got up and I was just like, I felt like just vibrant. Right now I'm feeling really charged and super vibrant right now. And I'm realizing that it's really important. We do not take time to stop before we get into our busy days. Most of us just get out of bed, or we think about what's going to happen that day. Very few of us stop and pause. This divine instrument that you didn't even make. Somebody made this body for you, right? And you're in it. And it's a gift. And when you wake up in the morning, what do you do with this gift that you have been given? How do you respond to it? Because every day it wakes up and you're in it is a gift. And the blessed thing for me was when he said, if you understand how the body feels when you relate to it, it's very important. And the distinction is between who you are being and who you are not being. And that led to a question of, what do you mean by that? And he said, who you are being is a choice. Who you are not being is not choosing. You can be one or the other, but you can't be both. You have to choose to be one or the other. And so I chose to be love. And so I did the same thing again this morning. I woke up and I could feel him standing beside me. And he said, go through the same process again. So I did. I lied there. I went to the brain. And believe it or not, the cells in your brain respond just as the cells in your hands respond when you ask the hand to open and close. Like, those are cells doing what you're asking them to do. Think about that. And your heart is beating for you. When you stop and go, I love you. I love what you do for me. I love what you do for me. And what about your lungs? Most people complain about their bodies. Oh, it's not fast enough. It's too fat, too thin, too tall, too short. Not fast enough, not healthy enough, not vital. But if you start relating differently to your body, you're going to start to change the body's state. Now, the other thing you wanted to discuss today, he said, it's important people get ready because the total restoration of yourself requires two parts, he said. The first part is you're being aware. And the second part is choosing what you are going to be as an awareness. What are you choosing to be as an awareness today, right now? What are you choosing to be as awareness? Are you conscious of that choice? For what you are conscious or unconscious of is determining the effects that you're experiencing in your world, in your body. Your level of vitality, your level of strength, your level of weakness is determined by your awareness, the quality of that which you have choice over. You have choice over what you are being as an awareness. And you have choice over what you are not being as an awareness. And this was really exciting. If you can understand this concept, what are you not being aware of that is affecting your life? Anger, fear, guilt, shame. What do you got going on inside you that is not who you really are? Is not who you really are. Anger, I can tell you, is not who you really are. Guilt, I can tell you, is not who you really are. Shame and pain and sadness are not who you really are. You may experience an awareness of them, but they are not who you are. And if you believe you are, then you will experience your experience as if you are those, even if you are not. For you have the ability to move your awareness into any state or condition by choice. Most of you are doing it automatically with little or no thought to the concern or to the effect. It is important you understand the distinction between what you are being and what you are not being, and to be conscious of choosing. He says, many of you are not conscious of your choosing. You are conscious of effects of the choosing, but you are not conscious of the choosing. And as a result, some days you suffer and some days you don't. You have good moments, you have bad moments. But you have choice. You do not have to be subjective to suffering. But in order to know that, you have to understand what it is you do wish to be subjective to. He said, I would recommend you choose love, to be subjective to love, to be subjective to joy, to be subjective to excitement and playfulness and vitality. He says, total healing must come and will come only through your conscious awareness. Your total healing will not unfold in unconsciousness. Although your conception of vitality can become unconscious and therefore be perpetuated automatically on your behalf, but it must be chosen consciously in order for it to become a natural, organic function in the expression of your being whole, totally whole. So in that, one of the things that he's given me this process, I don't know, about a week and a half ago, I lost a cell phone with cards and a bunch of stuff on it. And it was such a blessing for me to have that experience. I lost the false self. The William mechanism that I inhabit is not who I am. It's a vehicle that I use. And losing that mechanism that I was so attached to as being important for work and finances and travel, and suddenly losing that, realize, wait a minute, that is not who I am. That body is not who you are. But who you are is affecting that body in which you're being. So there were two statements that I was given that are very, very, very powerful. Two statements that can literally begin to put you in the position to totally restore your life, as Raphael has been showing me how to do in these last few days. Totally restoring your life. And it's a matter of becoming conscious of what you are and what you are not, and then deciding to align yourself to one and not the other. And it's, yes, I know, Master Jesus is back here too, because he talks about this in organizing the mind. When you want to organize your mind, he says it's important you understand how to separate the good from the bad, the righteous from the unrighteous, the evil from the good. He says it's important to understand how to make those distinctions. Yeah, and Raphael is saying, but in relationship to healing, the very nature of organizing your mind to be in alignment with who you are necessitates your body being restored to a state that represents and is resembling who you are. And it is right now who you are choosing to be or who you are choosing not to be. What you are choosing to think or what you're choosing not to think is defining what you call your experience at this moment. And your suffering can end in an instant. Jesus says, in a holy instant, your suffering can end. And literally, so the two statements you want to take into your life today, you want to walk through this day, and we encourage you to go through this day mindfully with a very simple process. And I can assure you, you'll notice instant changes happening for you as you go through this process. So the statement is, you recognize something inside yourself or in the world that does not represent who you want to be. So somebody says something that upsets you, or you're feeling annoyed inside. Well, is that who you want to be? No, you don't want to be upset or frustrated or annoyed. So the statement, when you become aware, you must become aware. This is so important. You must be conscious in doing this. It will not happen automatically. You may feel from us the vibration, the elevation in your energy field as a result of the vibrational exchange that's happening right now. But you, in and of yourself, in applying this process, must be deliberately and intentionally conscious as you apply it, and be aware of the changes that occur as you apply this process in your being. And the first step is simply this: when you recognize something within you or around you that you do not like, that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you unhappy, that makes you frustrated, that makes you guilty, makes you feel ashamed, any of that, when you recognize any of that, the statement is, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. This guilt, this shame, this anger, this is not who I am. This fear, this uncertainty, this is not who I am. And you repeat that statement 3 or 4 or 5 times till you feel your energy change within your being and in your body. And when you feel that change, we have experienced with others that when they totally apply this process, there is a shift in energy that takes them up, makes them feel expanded, makes them feel more joy, makes them feel relieved. And in that, you then make the statement in the perception of the new emerging state. This is who I am. I am this relief. I am this calm. I am this love. I am this joy. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is who I am. There's 2 statements. That is not who I am. This is who I am. 1, you are taking ownership of being that which you are, because you already are that. You already are that. But you are also recognizing what you are not. And that conscious definition aligns your awareness back to what it is now. You already are whole and perfect, but you must recognize, align yourself consciously to that. The world around you will not do it for you. It must be done from within your house. Yeah. Sorry, these guys are just like, they're just connecting with each other too. Yeah. It's fun to feel the vibrations that you start to feel when you begin to separate yourself from that which you are not and align yourself to that which you are. And the goal of today is to literally give you the tools to totally heal yourself in the simplest possible way. Identifying that which does not represent you, anxiety, hurriedness, frustration, any state of awareness, anytime you become of a state that's irritating, uncomfortable, frustrating, annoying, painful, anytime you become aware of any of those, that is not who I am. That is not who I am. And the very nature of making that statement, that is not who I am, you move yourself away from that energy. That is not who I am. The minute you do that, you move away from your attachment to that energy. And in that attachment, you will find a moment of freedom. And in the freedom, you will feel the truth. This is who I am. I am freedom. This is who I am. It is important you apply the process deliberately and consciously. It's funny because Master Jesus was saying to me that this is the process that was talked about in the, again, I'm not a Bible thumper or anything, but he talked about this process in the Bible where it talks about the ending days, the end of days. It's not has nothing to do with the world ending or humanity going to oblivion. It has to do with a process where you, as a soul, suddenly become aware of who you are, and suddenly come into this world and go, this is not the world I want to experience. This fear, this guilt, this shame, this anger, this doubt, this sadness. This is not who I am. And in that process, you're literally going to remake a new world within your own expression of being. You're literally letting go of the old self that is not who you are. You don't have to be better than what you are. You already are the most ultimate you possibly can be. But in order to be aware of that as a reality for you, it is important to define what you are and what you are not consciously. And you are renewing your mind in this. You renew your mind in this conscious process. And yes, very fascinating. Now, we are going to be only going for 45 minutes today, so we are going to take questions. Let me just exit out of this thing here. We are going to take questions. So I hope you guys really get this, because this is so liberating. Sorry about that, guys. It is really so liberating when you understand the process of who are you. You are a divine awareness without limit, without boundary, without confinement in consciousness. And this body is but one small area through which you are aware of us right now. And in your willingness and deliberateness to recognize what you are and what you are not, liberates you from what you are not and restores you to what you already are. You don't need to be restored. You just need to let go of that which you still believe you are not. But you must know what that is. And you must know what you are, and you must define them. Thank you. Wow. Wonderful. So yeah, and tomorrow, I wanted to see something else. So tomorrow, who do we have here tomorrow? So tomorrow, so tomorrow on Supernatural Saturday, Master Jesus is going to be here with a few others, and we're going to be covering the subject and doing a meditation on what's called the Great Ascension. The Great Ascension. And that word great, by the way, has two meanings to it, right? Great as in something magnificent, but great in terms that it is just great. But it's great in terms of its all-encompassing nature, this ascension that we are all engaged in consciously as individuals and as a collective species and as a unified field. And that's going to be tomorrow. And there's going to be a number of beings with us for this meditation. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you'll join us for that. I want to say, if you want to support this work, please go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes, and become a Patreon supporter. I want to welcome our new Patreons this week. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. Also, if you want to support this work, you can do it right here through the super chat, where you want to pose a question or make a comment. You can do so in the super chat. Just click the little sign to the side of the super chat where the comments are written in, and you can offer a donation that way as well to support these messages coming out as they are at this time. Well, hello, everybody. Hi. I love hitting the ground running. It's just who I am. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Wow. So understand, when you recognize, yes. So when I was lying in the bed, he wasn't just having me become aware of the heart and become aware of the lungs or becoming aware of the kidneys, becoming aware of the liver. It wasn't a matter of just becoming aware of them. It was becoming aware of how my awareness was interacting with the consciousness in the cells. Every cell in your body is a living individual. It's pretty amazing. Every cell in our body is a living individual. Literally, we have an entire world, we have an entire universe in this body. And every single particle of it is alive. And when you can begin to interact with that life consciously, it responds to you just the same way as this physical body, as we're speaking through it, is responding in a very specific way. Every single part of the organism, every individual dances in unity with the vibration that we're communicating. And with this understanding, you go into your heart, or you go into your leg, or you go into your shoulder where that discomfort is, and you really communicate with your awareness the vibration of your love and your gratitude, and recognize that that pain, that is not who I am. That is not who I am. And you will feel the cells, the individuals in there responding much the same way as we communicate vibrationally through this physical form, through this medium of electronics to you, much the same way as your organism, your awareness, your being responds to these vibrations at this time, so too do the cells, the molecules in your body respond to your awareness when you are conscious of it. And you can know the response and the change only by being conscious. Mm-hmm. So as he had me walking through that, and I could feel literally the trillions of cells that make up this body reacting to the awareness that I'm aware of them, and I care about them, and I love them, and I delight in them, and feeling how those beings, because they're living beings, are responding to the vibration you're communicating to them. And this is so important, to become aware of how the system is responding to you when you're communicating to it in very precise, conscious ways. So the distinction between who you are and who you are not becomes very important. Yes. So there were some things that had happened that were going on with my body that I realized they weren't who I am. I had this thing with a shoulder. I had this thing with a rash, and realizing I've been slowly going through this process. And what's really amazing is I get to go through this with you guys. Now I have the opportunity to go through this process with all of you, and you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to bring others through it, because you're going to connect with people that I don't know that you are connected to. But I'll tell you, once you start to change and transform yourself back into who you are, when you remember who you already are, you're going to have things to give to the people around you just by the pure nature of your being, right? Just by the nature of your being, what you truly are. That in and of itself is a transformative consciousness that affects matter very differently than matter can affect itself. And this is very exciting when you realize that. So going in and actually feeling that these trillions of beings in this body that are working on your behalf. They're working on your behalf. They do for you what you need them to do. And if they're not, it's because they need attention. You know, you've heard us say that if you saw a child crying on the street, you'd go and give it assistance. You wouldn't ignore it. In declaring who you are, because you are whole, you are perfect, you are vibrant, you are strong, you are powerful, you are light, you are love, you are so much more than your mind can ever tell you that you are, but you can tell your mind all that you are, and it will accept that and surrender to you. So when you see something in your body that is displeasing, recognize that energy. That is not who you are. That is not who you are. And when you give that cells, those beings, that awareness that that's not who they are, that's not who they are, and they suddenly begin to respond to that. And you'll feel them respond. I mean, does your hand not open and close when you ask it to? And when you feel the cells in your body begin to respond to your declaration that that's not who you are, that's not who I am. And if that's not who I am, then I am not suffering. If that is not who I am, then that is not who I am. And your cells will respond to you. And then when your cells respond favorably, you say, this is who I am. Comfort, relaxation, joy, peace, love. Yeah, excuse me. The good stuff. The good green stuff. Wonderful. So let's get into some Q&A. This is a great opening question from Marie. Can people with schizophrenia choose what voices they hear? How can I help? The condition of which you speak is one where the individual has separated themselves into different aspects of what they are. But they must, of their own conscious willingness, decide whom they wish to be. And they must recognize who they are and who they are not. For there are limitless voices speaking all at once. Can you not hear them? There are limitless voices through all time space that you may be aware of and you may not be aware of. If you are aware of who you are, that voice is not who I am. That is not who I am. That is not who I am. A different energy can emerge, but the individual in and of themselves must choose. The choice cannot be made for them as much as they would like it to be, as much as they would hope that a drug would solve their responsibility for being able to choose and ameliorate their own suffering consciously. For these ones have the opportunity to be great healers and great teachers, for they have access to much that is below and much that is above. There are many beings that would be open to communicating to those that you call schizophrenic, who simply have an antenna system, a communication system that's wide open on many channels. They just have not learned how to control the dials. And so they must be instructed on how to listen to certain things and to not listen to certain things. Yes. The issue of emotion comes into play, especially when these ones are dealing with lower vibrational energies. And in this context, they must recognize that's not who they are. That is not who they are. The emotion of fear, the emotion of uncertainty that comes with some of these beings intruding into their consciousness, that is not who I am. That is not who I am. That is not who I am. It must be not done in anger or attack, just as a simple declaration. This fearfulness is not who I am. This is not who I am. This is not who I am. It must be firmly, not aggressively, firmly stated that this is not who I am. And in that, they will begin to find relief through the continued application of that simple process. We make it as easy as we can for everyone to do this. It is then just a matter of application and practice. Wonderful. Thank you, Marie. It's a great question. A question from Patricia. Sorry, just somebody laughing. It's funny. I hear all kinds of things. Like I'm wide open, so I hear all kinds of things, and I can listen to lower things. I can listen to higher things. I choose the higher over lower. I know the distinction. People in what you call schizophrenia are so externally driven. They're so caught up in the external. They've lost their point of reference to their self-awareness. And once they reconsolidate that self-awareness, they can recognize that's not who I am. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. And once that's consciously and meticulously repeated, the system gets re-entrained, right? Because they've been entrained to just be outwardly driven. There are other elements in that. Yeah, okay. He's saying there are other elements in that, and it may differ from individual to individual in terms of the degree and the intensity of attention required to initiate the change as a permanent change in consciousness. So it differs in degree from person to person. Is there a color associated with Archangel Raphael? Green. Immediately he says green, Use the color green for me. He says, envelop yourself in green, a pillar of green. Envelop yourself in a pillar of green. And I am there in that. He says, there are other colors I may use if it is required for different emotional and physical conditions may require different degrees and intensities of energy. And you've chosen this conception of color, but this conception of color represents a state of being, a state of who I am, a state of who you are. And if you are this healing, then this is who I am. Wow. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Patricia. Wow. Just scrolling down. Question from Lydia. I'm being driven to inform everyone about what's going on with the pandemic and the vaccines and the child trafficking, etc., but feel it's draining my energy. Please help. Lydia, this is William speaking, the William entity. I went through that process. It is not who you are. Literally, all that fear, all that uncertainty. This time is about ascension. And so we get to face the things in ourselves that we must transform in ourselves. That fear about the virus is not yours, it's theirs. If other people want to have that fear, allow them to have it. It is not your responsibility unless somebody asks you to help them get rid of their fear and their suffering. That they must choose. You cannot liberate one who likes to stay in chains, but you can most certainly liberate yourself because you are one that does not wish to be chained. So when you are faced with your anger and your fear and your uncertainty, that is not who you are. That is not who you are. That is not who you are. And when you recognize that, even now, as you hear us speak to you, and you realize that fear of the vaccine, that fear of the virus, that is not who you are. That fear is not who you are. And if that fear does not exist, then who are you without that fear? And we would say to you, you are something greater. And you would feel it and you would know it without question. And you may use this while you're listening to this and hearing other people's questions being answered. Simply, that fear is not who I am. This fear is not who I am. This anger is not who I am. It must be consciously chosen. You must choose to be who you are. You must choose to be who you are in this world. Thank you, Lydia. Yes, very good, very good, very good. Just scrolling down. Question from Adam. This is a great day, guys. I want to say thank you, everybody, for showing up. Totally restoring yourself. Like you can literally, every word you speak, every emotion you attend to is information that you're organizing in your body. And if you're focusing on fear, your body is going to be reacting to that focus. If you accept fear, I'm afraid, well, now the whole system becomes afraid. If you accept that this fear, when you identify fear, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. This is not who I am. And you feel that energy shift because you're now consciously deciding who you are and who you are not. And if you are not the fear, then what are you? And when you recognize that new energy, that new vibration, that new vitality that begins to emerge from underneath the fear, then you can say, this is who I am, calm. I am this calm. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is who I am. And you liberate yourself from that. You liberate yourself from it, literally. Can I ask Master Jesus if he heard my prayers yesterday, and what do I have to do for him to protect me from spiritual harm? Is there anything else? He's smiling and giggling. He says, have you been listening carefully? Have you been listening very carefully? Very carefully. If you listen and feel, then it is not a question. That uncertainty that you feel in asking this question is not who you are. And if you are not that uncertainty, then you will be certain of the truth. But that uncertainty you have is not who you are. And yes, I always hear you. I always hear everyone who calls upon me and my name. I am. Thank you. Great question, Adam. Thank you so much. I got to tell you, so I've been just having a heyday. I've been having a blast going through this process and walking down the street, and so we are so blessed. All of us, whether you're wearing a mask or you're not wearing a mask, or you want a vaccine or you don't, we all come from the same source. We come from the same home. We're all from the same home, all of us. And so when I see my sister or my brother, in fear, I'm not that fear, but I can't change that. But I can use what I learned from them. That's not who I am. And they are free to choose to be afraid. They're free to choose that. I choose not to be that. So therefore, they bring the gift to me. If I'm unaware of some anger and somebody yells at me and suddenly I'm aware of my anger, this anger is not who I am. And the minute I decide that, I change. And they change. And I watch it many times now. Every day now it's happening. Thank you. Lori's asking, I like to allow my water to rest with crystals before drinking it. What is the minimum time they should rest? And what is the best material to have them contained in? Three things came up. The last thing that came up was a quartz bowl. If you place them in a quartz bowl with, they're saying, distilled water with natural sea salt, this will recharge them. It will clear their memory so you can receive more clearly from them. I don't know why they're saying that to you, Lori, but you can receive more from them. Interesting. That's a really cool way. So water in a crystal bowl with real sea salt, and that clears the memory so you can receive from them what you're ready to receive. That's really cool. Thank you, Lori. Great question. You know that green drink too, eh, Janine? Yeah, me too. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah, in our courses and classes, we teach people how you can start to raise your vibration up, your body's vibration up, because your body's not meant to age poorly. It's meant to age deliciously, so that when you're getting old in your body, you're actually feeling better in it. It's like, yeah, I kind of like this. It's like a favorite armchair. When you get up in the morning, and you're going, yeah, I like this. I'm comfortable with this. It's good. Raise the vibration. And that statement, raising the vibration, comes from Megan C. Markle, who runs another YouTube channel. She's a beautiful host and spiritual medium herself. And she uses that statement, raising the vibration. And green drinks, living green smoothies, raise your vibration. They raise your vibration of the body. And you need the body's vibration raised up. Okay, let's see here. What time are we doing? I got 5 more minutes, guys. Question from Danielle. Very interesting to envelop ourselves in a pillar of green for healing. Oh, I meant to click on the question. There we go. Am I totally recovered from depression? And if not, what can I do? Hi, Danielle. Well, if you are not totally recovered from the depression, you now have the tools to do it. Whenever you feel that energy coming up, listen to what they said today. Whenever you become aware of that vibration of sadness, because sadness and depression kind of go in the same, whenever you become aware, this is for all of you, by the way, not just for Danielle. If you ever become aware of the sadness connected to depression, that's not who you are. But you must decide, you must become aware and say, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. This is not who I am. And when you declare that affirmatively like that, you'll feel a shift in your energy. And when you feel that shift in your energy, something else will be there. And that something else that will be there is who you are. When you declare what you are not, you align yourself to what you already are. You already are all that you have seeking from this world to be. But you must recognize that which you seek from the world to be is that which is within you as you are. You must Remember that and live that. I'm not sure why that's happening. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Where are we? Oh, you're welcome. Something from the flip side. Oh, it's always nice to have something from the flip side. On August 31st, you relayed from the guides that the next coming week and a half, a very large changes on the planet. A week and a half has passed. Please ask what they were referring to. If you don't realize, if you can't see what's happening and the geophysical changes that have happened, we had a massive cosmic bombardment from the sun. I mean, there were amazing things that happened. Like, do a little research and you'll find there's massive change in ascension energies. Cosmic frequency rays came to the planet in massive abundance in the last 4 or 5 days. Huge abundance. And if you're sensitive enough, though, and can you align your field to that, your energy will go up. It will not go down. It will expand. But you're also seeing there's been a massive uptick in the numbers of 5 and 6 level magnitude earthquakes. And you're going to be seeing more of that as the vibrational energy changes globally, not just with humans, but with the planet, because the planet is changing too. It's going through an ascension as well. We are not separate from it. It is not separate from us. So there's other elements you can do. Again, if you're feeling like something is missing in your life, that's not who you are. If you're feeling like something's missing, then something's going to be missing, even if it's in front of you. In psychology, there's a condition called a scotoma, schotoma, scotoma. And it's where you go around your kitchen. Say you're going in your kitchen, you're trying to find your salt shaker. Where's the salt, you say? Where's the salt? You can't find it anywhere. And your wife or your roommate come in and they go, oh, it's right there. And it was sitting right in front of you. You go, how the hell did I miss that? It's because you, in your mind, you thought, I can't find the salt. Your brain immediately is entrained to not find the salt. So if you believe something is not happening, you won't recognize it even if it does. Thank you, Flipside. I really appreciate that. It's important that we ask questions. Question from Carolyn. No, there we are, right there. May I ask Archangel Raphael, can we somehow stop anger in the moments when it comes up? Thank you. He says, yes, absolutely. The moment, he's saying the moment you become aware, this is the key. The moment you are aware of it, you must declare, this is not who I am. In the moment of your awareness, this is not who I am. Hi, guys. Well, listen, guys, we have to finish up. I appreciate all your questions, all your concerns. So grateful that you were able to come by today. And I will see you tomorrow on the Great Ascension Meditation, tomorrow on Supernatural Saturday. Have yourselves a wonderful, a joyful day. And remember, if you want to support my channel, go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. And please become a Patreon supporter. That helps us keep putting these messages out. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.